we're gonna try and head up, get the honey off of a couple of those hives, and then maybe drive around real quick and look at some grass. And then I gotta head up to the Metroplex to try and buy some dress clothes, because I have become what the French call fat, and I have to head to a funeral this weekend. And so I don't know if I'm gonna have time to get a suit tailored, but I gotta do something so that I don't look like I've got a giant muffin top trying to squeeze into pants from years and years ago. Okay, I got some boxes. I got a super to throw on one of those hives I noticed last time. Smoker's rolling. So I'm gonna do a quick pan of these cattle and then we'll get started. Hey Luna. Kit. Ferdinand. Hey Millie. There's big old Ollie back there. He's a stud. He was just born this year and he is gigantic. All right, the big goal for this hive is take a quick look, and last time it looked like it could use a super, so we're gonna throw one on. Looks like this one hasn't been used since 2023. I'm not a great beekeeper. Keeper. Smoke's kind of evaporating. Remember, right, these guys were pretty chill last time we were in here. Hopefully that's the same. So far, pretty chill. These are homemade strips. I think I said it last time. Filled with salicylic acid to help keep the mites down. Just see how these guys are doing. This was a split we made. Oh yeah, that's awesome. This is a beautiful frame. Trying to make sure we don't have a queen in here. I do not want to drop her somewhere. So, if you look, that's kind of the rainbow pattern. Got a bunch of the babies that are all capped, some honey on top, and then the little yellow, bright yellow cells are filled with pollen, which they use for protein. So this is a really great, really strong hive going right now, and it has exploded in size since I split it. So I'm pretty pumped on this one. I think I did this the beginning of spring, probably April-ish. So hopefully we'll get some fall honey out of it. Last year our fall honey was really, really dark. Our spring honey was super light, like clear. Like you didn't almost want to eat it if you didn't know what it was, because it kind of looked like somebody peed in a jar. But the winter stuff was super dark and kind of hazy, like a pretentious guy's IPA. And they tasted very different. I've come to really appreciate the darker one more. The light one was very floral. The darker one was kind of, I don't even know how to explain it. It's obviously very sweet. It's honey, but it just had a different taste. I got a neighbor that's trying to talk me into making some mead with it, and I may do that. All right, these next 3 are going to be a little more interesting. I'm going to try and rob them of some of these frames that are filled with honey. I'm going to do that by taking these boxes that I built yesterday. All right. All right, so I'm going to rob them of their honey, and I'm going to bring it over here. I built some boxes yesterday. They're not yet painted, but I'm basically going to hang any frames I get in here. I got a lid on bottom and I got a lid on top to try and keep the bees out. Normally I use a little Milwaukee blower, like a little tiny one, to blow the bees out of the frames. I'm going to see if I can transfer them one at a time. Normally I just take the whole box off, but since they're not all ready, I'm probably just going to try and steal the ones that are ready out and then hang them in that other box. This is going to be interesting because if I remember right, these guys were less cool last time. They're already being less cool. It might be time to requeen this hive. Get them somebody a little more chill. I'm probably at the point in my beekeeping career where I need to start experimenting with raising my own queens rather than just doing blind splits. All right, I know that I'm in your way, and I apologize. So this one is not fully capped, and it's nothing on the back. So I'm probably gonna leave that for now because you definitely don't want your honey too watery. The test is if you can go like this and wiggle it and it drips, which it doesn't, so yeah, maybe I will take it. All right, let's see about this next one. You know it'd be better. I'll go this way. Try not to over smoke them, but that doesn't seem to be a problem today. Tried to grab some grass, but apparently the grass is a little too green. It's not really staying burning. So this is spring honey that I'm harvesting in August. Oh yeah, they're mad. So you can see this is super light colored and a great frame. So I zipped everything up, but they're not happy with me. This has some light and some dark, it appears. They are big mad. RTO in Fire Academy that told me that nobody was completely useless. At a minimum, they could serve as an example of what not to be. And I think today, we may be doing that. See all this honey, but there's a whole bees buzzing, so I'll let it go. All right, so I'm pretty glad I went back and got the rest of those frames. Obviously not ideal. I tried something new, and hopefully it was at least entertaining. Watched me get stung, and I mean the camera was covered in stingers. It was wild. I've never seen them that mad. So noted. Don't do that again. I'm gonna run out back, grab those boxes, blow them out one more time with the little blower and bring them into the house so they stay cool, so they don't melt when I'm up in the Metroplex. But I'll circle back either later today or tomorrow, spin them and try and record some of that. It's not a super interesting process, but if you've never seen it, you know, maybe. I think bees are the guy equivalent of sourdough bread for women. We all picked up random hobbies during COVID, and they're pretty cool. They're pretty fulfilling. So if you're thinking about bees, you should do it, even if you live in the city. They're trainable, if I forget to say this later. You can get 4x8 sheets of plywood and put them like a giant chimney around the hive, and the bees will learn to go out, go up, and then go horizontal. And so when they fly back home, they're gonna fly back home because they're really efficient and really smart. I say smart in air quotes, but they're really like instinctual. And they'll fly back at that altitude, and then they'll dip straight down into the hive, even once you take the plywood away. And supposedly they'll continue to do it for generation after generation. Somehow that knowledge gets transferred. So if you lived in a city, you could have bees not swarming around all your neighbors. You could have them flying up higher and then dip down into your hives. Obviously check local ordinances and whatever else. And as you saw today, they get mad sometimes, and that would be suboptimal if you lived in a neighborhood or had small kids or whatever. Although by the time I got about 10 feet away from the hives, they were pretty much didn't care about me anymore. Anyway, I'm rambling. Not sure if you can see, and I really don't want to get any closer because I'm in a t-shirt and gym shorts. But we have attracted thousands of bees to those boxes that a little bit of honey got in, that I transported the frames to the house in. I've got 19 frames, I think, is what I took inside, which is a disappointing harvest, but I mean, I guess it is what it is. I've been ignoring the bees more than I should have. Gonna have to get those out of here. My wife is deathly afraid of bees, so that's gonna be suboptimal if she decides to walk out back when she gets home. And as I'm getting ready to leave to go to the Metroplex to go shopping for the first time in a long time, spread among the logs that I was felling these dead trees when my log splitter broke is Myrtle, our derpy calf, who seems to have a little hitch in her giddy up when she walks and is never where she's supposed to be, which is pretty cool, unless you like well-behaved animals. Hey, Dopey, get out of our yard. I cannot tell you how many cattle we've chased out of our yard. And they come in here even if the grass is better on the outside, which right now, I mean, to be fair, it's not. But hey, come on, come on. She's gonna want to go back with her friends that are over here, but there's no good way for her to get out. Myrtle, come on, let's get out of here. Are you gonna go through the fence? The people that owned this place before us cut the wire and put a red man gate. I don't know if you can see it there. Oh, there she goes, little dirt. And it's made it so that the posts have sagged, and at this point the chain is pulled so tight you can't even unhook it. So I'm going to pull this post here and then just rerun it like it was originally intended, because there's H braces at the end. That, or my wife may make me put in H braces here so we can have a gate, although I don't know why we need it, because this is just trash area right now with scrubby Russian thistles and whatever these nasty green weeds are. Anyway, thought you'd like to see Myrtle being Myrtle.